Hi everyone, I have been delayed on my video filming for my tea empties. So today I'll be doing 2 months, April and May. I think it'll be the same for like June and July. And then like going forward, unless in the winter fall months, maybe I finish more tea, or like a month where I finish enough tea where I can just do a standalone month. But it'll probably be like every 2 months because sometimes I drink a lot of tea but I don't finish it, or maybe I just have 1 cup a day if I'm really busy. But oddly enough, April and May I had the same amount of tea both times. So April I had 45 cups of tea, so same for May, which is a little weird but cool. So I finished mostly tea bags, and it wasn't really many tea bags, but I would have drank in other teas too. But I'm almost done this pure chamomile, so I had a cup of tea of that. 2 of the Ceylon and India Orange Pico Mellow Black Tea from Harney and Sons. I really like the sampler. I still have much of the sampler left, but it's a good tea bag. Sampler has like black teas, green teas, and then herbal teas. 2 of the Japanese sencha, Japanese sencha is always a good tea, nourishing green tea. I have a pomegranate and raspberry from Twinings. I would eventually like to finish this tea because it's just not as tart as I was hoping. Like, it's kind of mellow taste. But yeah, so I would like to finish that. I have a Kirkland green tea. So it's like green tea with matcha. So it's just very good. I remember I've always been wanting to try it. And then one time I went to Costco by myself and I got one of the boxes because I'm like, I'm taking it. I think it was a good price. I think under 20 bucks for like 100 tea bags. So it's not too bad. But yeah, very good green tea. I have the Saigon chai, and I finally got a bag of Saigon chai. So I have 50 grams to enjoy this tea, but I have so many other chais I kind of want to finish some chais before I go to Saigon chai, but very delicious. A little creamy, like sweet, and then you got the classic spices. I got a Taz of Zen, always a good tea, but I would like to finish this tea up because I've had it for a while. And then this is a Bigelow Premium 100% Ceylon tea bag. Just would have gotten it at the hotel, or I think my mom went to the hotel and she usually brings tea bags back. So that was April's teas. Not too much, but again, a little bit of a dent. May was better, actually. I finished more tea, but I do kind of have a funny story with 2 teas, but like also not funny. I finally finished this organic rooibos from Just Us. Just Us is like in Nova Scotia somewhere, like a coffee shop, Just Us, in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, I think. But very good. I mean, it's herbal, it's plain. I love like these kind of like plain herbal teas for bedtime, even though technically it's not bedtime tea, but it's caffeine free. I just love it in the evening. I have another like tea bag rooibos, and then I have like the wild grown rooibos, and then I have flavored rooibos, but sometimes I just want a plain rooibos. So, I mean, if I see this again, I'd probably get it again, but rooibos, especially when it's plain, I mean, you can't really go wrong with rooibos. So, but yeah, very good, delicious. More of the chamomile. I'm not technically done the chamomile, but I did make more of a dent. So technically I have 2 tea bags left, so I will finish it for July, and then I'll be done. But 9 tea bags of the pure chamomile. Sometimes I go through stages where I really want pure I want chamomile. And then other times I'm like, I want more of a flavored or fruity tea. But very good chamomile. A red rose orange pico, can't go wrong with red rose. I probably again at a hotel, but just a little tea bag. Carrot cupcake was a flavored rooibos I finished. This was one of those teas where I've had for a while, so I wanted to finish up. And at the start, I wasn't totally a big fan, but once I finished it, I wanted more. And of course, it was discontinued. But Tea Kettle does have a tea similar. It's called carrot cake, and I believe like it looks the same when you look at the picture. The ingredients are the same. So definitely when I go down on some of my teas, I'd probably get this from Tea Kettle, but of course it got discontinued once I wanted more of it, but very good. Just delicious. You got the carrot, you got the ginger, you got the apple. It's creamy, it's just sweet. It's perfect for like, you know, bedtime or after dinner. Okay, so story of these teas. So I finished matcha ice cream, which is very good. Again, another tea I just wanted to finish, but I did get another bag because I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna like want more of this. And it was like on discount too. So I already had it in my collection once I finished this up, but I had to have this finished before I, of course, open the new bag. But it'll probably be a little bit before that. Because this is a good tea, but I think when it comes to like green teas, I want like plain or fruity or like chai green teas. But when it's like sweet green teas, it's like I don't totally go for them. But matcha ice cream is a delicious tea. So I'm glad I have 50 more grams because it is really good. And I love finishing a bag of tea, especially like these, because, you know, especially when they get wrinkled. You can tell I've had this since 2018, so I had to finish up. But, so it's a sweet green tea. It's got, you know, black currants, sugar pearls, white chocolate, stevia extract, which sometimes kind of not a fan, but other times it's okay. But they do tend to put a lot of teas with stevia extract. More so like David's tea, but other brands will do that too. So I'm really liking this tea, and I think I had it in the evening, like afternoon evening. Sometimes I do that because it has low caffeine. I have it like I can still have it like after supper. But I clean my kettle with vinegar and water every so often, because your kettle will build up with minerals and just kind of looks gross, but it's not really bad for you. It's just, you know, mineral buildup. I think it's called descaling when you use the vinegar and water, but you just put like, I put a little bit of vinegar and then mostly water, fill up the kettle, just let it sit, and then usually I'll have a sticky note near it saying kettle is cleaning. For some reason I did not have that sticky note, so I was like, oh, I'll remember. I forget about it, come back, and you know, it was probably like a couple days. I make a cup of tea and it's this, so I finish this tea and I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. Like, what happened to it? Like, something bad happened to it. Like, it's bad tea. Good thing I finished it. It was the vinegar that was still in the tea kettle. And so I still drank the tea, but even though it was clearly bad. And then, you know, it took me a while before I realized, but even then, just maybe a couple hours before I realized that it was the vinegar, that it wasn't the tea. I mean, the tea was getting a little old, but it still tasted fine. It tasted really good. Yeah, so, you know, I think I cleaned it up. Or no, I looked inside and it still kind of looked, so I put some more vinegar in it. And then the next day, I forget that it was cleaning. I make myself a cup of tea with this Hiley's lemongrass matcha tea bag, which is a good tea, but the vinegar is still in it. So I drink this and I'm like, oh, it's horrible. I finish it and then I realize I did the same thing I did to matcha ice cream. So when you're cleaning your tea kettle, make sure you have a note that says kettle is cleaning, because if not, you're gonna forget and then you're gonna drink tea with vinegar in it and it's not gonna be good. Your stomach's not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. Yeah, so now most of the time I do have a sticky note, but for some reason I just didn't have it and it totally messed me up. And, you know, it was really like, thank goodness it's not the tea, because that was disgusting. But yeah, so a little story on these two teas. So May was actually pretty good. I finished, well, technically I almost finished 4 teas, but I finished 3 true amounts of tea. And, you know, slowly but steady. I did post on like the sip time page on Facebook, so this would already be up. I just didn't do a video of it, so I wanted to document my TMTs. So yeah, 45 cups of tea for both April and May, back to back. That's pretty cool. That's not really a lot. Like, my record is like over 100. I think it's 109 cups of tea I drink a month, and I think that was like near the start of COVID, and now we're like over 2 years. So crazy. I'm hoping like once it gets cooler, because you know it's summer here and we still have like another month and a half. So I still drink tea, but not as much. But today I'll probably have like 3 cups of tea drinks, so that's always nice. It's nice because you can tell, or I can tell that I have a day off because I have more time to drink tea, which I'm going to drink a cup of tea after this. But I just wanted to show my empties. I love when I finish more than what I usually do, because when I just finish like a handful of like tea bags, like not too many, it's kind of lame. But I'm hoping July, like I already have one true tea, like one package of tea emptied, and I'm hoping I can get a couple other oldies but goodies. Like last night I looked through some of my tea collection, and it's always so exciting because when you have a lot of tea, you forget all the tea you have. And I was just looking at some of these teas and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have this tea. Like I didn't know I had this tea. So it's very exciting discovering, you know, hidden teas that you had. But it just also goes to show that you can't have too much, because when you have too much, you forget what you have and you don't want anything to go to waste. So, you know I have 2 tea redemptions for David's tea, but luckily they like pushed the expiration date for like the whole year. So if you bought enough tea in June, you would have a redemption until next June, which is very nice. So I'm trying to save those until fall time. But I saw that David's Tea has released some summer matchas, banana, watermelon, and green apple, and they brought back berries and cream. Those 3 sound really good, but I have too much matcha and I don't drink enough matcha, so I'm finally going to wait until like the end, I think, because I really don't want to buy any tea because I have so much tea. So hopefully I'm not doing a FOMO. I don't want to fear of missing out. So I usually will buy it before, and then it's like, oh, it's on sale now. Like I could have waited. So I'm gonna try to do that with those 3 matchas, and hopefully get those on sale or just use up my tea redemptions. And of course, like the fall's coming soon, which I know a lot of people love summer. I do really like fall. I like summer too, but summer is just sometimes too hot, and I want to drink hot tea, and I don't really drink iced tea. But hopefully fall they'll bring like a cool chais, cool pumpkin teas. If they brought back like pumpkin mate, I love that they're bringing back older teas, because some of these teas are so good. Like pumpkin mate was so delicious. So David's Tea, anyone who ever watches these videos, and if they can bring back pumpkin mate, please do that. Please do that. And always Earl Greys. Like the Earl Greys they do are always so exciting. Never thought I'd love Earl Grey so much. But yeah, so I'm just trying to finish up some teas. I recently got sick, so I was drinking a lot of like a cold tea, which is finished. But I do find like I'm not picky with tea. Like I'll probably drink any tea. Licorice is an ingredient that can sometimes be a little not always enjoyable or too much, but but there are definitely teas in my collection where I'm like, I may not be a big fan of, but then once I finish, I'm like, that was really good. I really like drinking that. So that was kind of like carrot cupcake. Like it was a good tea, but I just wanted to finish this up, and now I'm like, oh, I want more of this. But I have a fair amount of like fall rooibos blends. So yeah, it's only July. Hopefully I can finish enough July empties. And August, and going forward, try to be less on my tea purchases, because I really need to dwindle. Like there's so many teas I'm looking at right now that I'm like, I need to finish. But I will do slowly and steady. I think I'm gonna have a cup of like mint green tea, or maybe a tea bag. Earlier I had David's chai, which is really good. So chais are definitely tea flavor that I need to drink up because I have a lot of chais, but chais are so good. And yeah, so hopefully everyone's having a good day. It is now July 6th. And I gotta get going on my tea empties. But yeah, I finally got to film this tea video and I'll have that up soon. Hope everyone's tea progress is going good. And you know, just whenever you feel like you don't have enough tea, look at your tea collection or even just part of it and be like, oh, you have enough tea. Yeah, so have a good day. Bye.